Wake up in the morning. Wake up, Atlanta. It's time for coffee. Talk presented by Spotify. Fresh vibes, real talk.
Let's get started, shall we?
Yes, 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 ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, boy howdy, boy howdy. Welcome back to another exciting podcast here today. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Coffee Talk powered and presented by Spotify. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting podcast here today. I'm your gracious and highly favorite podcast host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas here. And welcome back to another exciting episode. We have a jam packed episode for you guys today. And if you guys are tuning in, if you're watching us tonight on Instagram Live or LinkedIn Early Access, as always, we thank you guys for chatting with us and tuning in with us and listening in to us tonight. It is a wonderful, 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 wonderful Thursday. If you're watching tonight, but if you're missing us tonight and you're catching us Friday morning at 8 a.m., happy Friday, ladies and germs. We made it towards the end of the week. And let me tell you guys something. The end of the week is very spectacular because we're getting ready for the weekend. I ain't gonna lie to you. First, it's been a great week for podcasting. Of course, we had another episode of this that came out. I want to say that was Tuesday. And then we gave you two episodes of the Playgrid Sports Podcast presented by Amazon Music. That show is amazing. I get very, very excited when I go and do those type of sports shows. But it's been a tough week too. You know, the offices is back in full fledged. If you guys know, if you guys know, you saw the last episode. I talked about my move and how hectic my move was. It was quick, but it was hectic last week, and then I ended up getting the sniffles. And I say this, and I know I said this in the last episode, but I'm gonna say it again on this episode too to a lot of people. To a lot of people out there, please be sure to get your remedies in, get prepared. If you are like me, that has allergies, because a lot of people in my offices, let me tell you, I'm hearing way too many sniffles. Right, for some strange reason, we had an influx, like a huge influx of people sniffling and sneezing and coughing this week. Pollen count was kind of high this week, everybody, because the reason why we have it is because, God has graced us hope and audience with sunshine, because it's been sunshiny almost every day. But being that we're in the springtime and flowers are blooming, the trees are blooming, pollen is getting in everywhere, and we haven't had rain for a minute. So I do say to a lot of people, please get your remedies in. Whether it's chicken noodle soup, I have a stock supply of chicken noodle soup along with my meal prep that I do. But chicken noodle soup that's on the side, orange juice that's in my refrigerator in my house. I've got tea. And tea is something that I'm starting to dabble into with. I'm starting to substitute coffee with tea. And I think it's been working out really well for me because I always forget. And I wish I didn't have this thing, ladies and gentlemen. And the podcast shows, I like to be personable. I wish I didn't have this thing. If you guys know, because I've talked about it previously. I have what you call a hyperactive thyroid issue. And basically what that is, if you guys don't know, thyroid issues, it occurs in your neck, like in front of your neck. And basically what it is, my type of thyroid issue that I have is hyperactive thyroid. So there's a whole lot of friction of things, hope and audience, is going on with my thyroid. I have it to where I work out excessively. I don't work out every day. I'm learning to take my rest days, but I work out heavy, and my metabolism is burning quicker than normal, which is great, right? Because if your metabolism is burning faster, that means you're burning food fast, you're hungry faster, and you're losing weight, right? Sucks that when you're losing weight and you want to do things right, you still end up getting punished in some sort of sickness. So that's basically what it does. Is my metabolism is burning really, really, really fast, and I'm learning to remember to not eat dairy, cheese, milk, yogurt. And it sucks because I loved yogurt. I really love yogurt, and I'm a big sucker for ice cream, but I can't eat those things anymore because those included dairy, and those things have iodine in it, as along with salmon and fish. Like the iodine, I can't have anymore because it will have my thyroid glands swell up, causing the thyroid to act up, causing me to have, hot flashes and not sleeping well. Throat will be hurting and it will feel like a scratch or a sore throat, but it's not really a sore throat. It's just that thyroid acting up. And it also happens with that because it happens with that when it comes down to it. It also happens when it comes down to allergies as well. It flares up. So I do say to a lot of people, for some strange reason, we just had I don't know. We had an influx of people sniffling. So I do say to a lot of people, um, have your remedies. And I used to drink chai latte coffee, but that contains milk, and I forgot that it contained milk. So I'm learning. Okay, I kind of forgot. Let me not drink that. I shouldn't be drinking that. So now I'm opting in for green tea. I'm opting in for lemon tea for my morning regiments for sure. So I say to a lot of people, please take care of yourself. Have that remedy in whatever that remedy is. For me, it's those things plus Dayquil, Nyquil. I've got a thing of Zyrtec. I didn't think I bought Claritin because I think Zyrtec works better, and I might be wrong on that. And then I'm just having just cough drops on handy just in case because it's just the season that we're in. It's April, flowers are blooming, trees are blooming, pollen season had a high count this week. So I do say to a lot of people, stay safe within your regimen when it comes down to it because it's just one of those things. I do want to say to a lot of people, if you're just now joining us, thank you guys so very much. This is Coffee Talk presented by Spotify. Everybody's been loving our social media when we've been uploading our content. The Lucas Tribune is back. Finally, we wrote about Star Fox possibly getting a return game when it comes down to it. Star Fox, Fox McCloud. I'm a big Star Fox guy. I haven't seen the Super Mario movie yet. I've been so busy tied up in the offices and podcasts for you guys, but eventually I'm going to go see the Super Mario Galaxy movie eventually because Fox McCloud is making his appearance into this movie. I'm very, very excited for that. And it's been said to say that we're going to see an kind of a release of some sort of trailer that the next new Fox McCloud Star Fox game could be coming as soon as we think, right? It could be coming maybe in July. It could be coming in August. Let me tell you guys something. I am a huge fan of Star Fox. Even if this may not be a new game, because Marcus and we talked about it in the studio, guys. If you guys know, you know. Marcus talked about it on the podcast previously, and then we wrote about it on the Lucas Tribune. Guys, go check out the Lucas Tribune, the latest new article. We updated the website, by the way. We have a lot of new things on the website. We updated some of the graphics there, and now we have a great group of team members that are part of Lucas Tribune that created the artwork for the post we did when we talked about Star Fox in our article. Me and Marcus was talking about it, and I gotta say, if we don't get a new Star Fox game, like a brand spanking new, I think it's time for a brand spanking new Star Fox game. I really do. I would be satisfied if they remade one out of the two very good games that I've played. Star Fox Avengers. I think that was a very swell game. I do like it that, with Star Fox, you have the air wing, you're flying throughout space. That's cool. But I always been a sucker for the Star Fox games that Star Fox, you are outside of the air wing and you're third person view of Fox McCloud venturing around the platform because I'm a huge platform player. Huge fan of that. So if they remade Star Fox Adventures or Star Fox Assault, let me tell you, Star Fox Assault for Nintendo GameCube, chef's kiss. Now it could be to where they're remastering these games out for Switch 2. I'm buying. But you guys got to remember, there's also the Nintendo membership online pass. So they might just dump those two games came out for GameCube. So we might see those two games on the Nintendo Online um, platform. To which I wouldn't be upset about it because I did get a discount from Nintendo. Essentially got it for free to where I get a full year of Nintendo Online for the full year, which is cool because I've been playing Luigi's Mansion, which I need to finish that game by the way. I just think it needs more. We need more on the Nintendo GameCube side when it comes down to the online service. I think GameCube doesn't have enough. That could be where they're just dumping that on Nintendo Online and say, "Hey, here's the new Star Fox on the Nintendo Online service. There you go." Right? And promotions for the movie to get people to go see the movie. I wouldn't be upset with that. I do think it is time for a new Star Fox game, or Nintendo could be surprising us with both, right? Nintendo could say, okay, Star Fox Adventures or Star Fox Assaults coming to the Nintendo Online service this July, quote unquote. But then they're gonna show us, okay, but coming out in September is a brand spanking new Star Fox game. They could surprise us, right? Because we did see the articles, we did see everything talk about we won't have a new Mario game anytime soon, right? Because they're all focused on the new movie, right? So I do think we're not going to get a new Mario game this year, but I would be very very happy if we get a new Star Fox game. We'll wait and see what happens when it comes down to that. I just think it's time. I think along with Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, all of the big players, I gotta say, I'm ready for them, all of these big platforms to use their mascots, use their IP. I think it's time. I just don't think it shouldn't be to a point where people have to just rely on Nintendo, rely on Mario for everything, or a PlayStation relying on Astrobot or Uncharted for their mascot, right? There's more IPs that these companies have, and I think I might have podcast about this open audience. There's more IPs that these video game companies could use. It's the same thing I've been saying with PlayStation. I want to see a new Sly game, a new Sly Cooper game. Who knows when that's going to happen? Because I just feel like they just kind of threw Sly Cooper away. Same thing with Nintendo. Nintendo has all of these other IPs that they could be using, and people are going to buy it. If they announce a new Star Fox game, they already have my money, right? Because I'm a huge fan, right? Metroid Prime 4 that came out, very fantastic. I haven't beat that game yet. Still, I need to play. That probably will be my weekend. My weekend just playing video games. But it's been too long for a Star Fox game. I think it's been too long for a Captain Fountain game. I just hope that that happens. Rumors been circulating. Everybody's been talking about it on the blogs. We wrote about it as well because those are just the rumors that are out that we might get a trailer for a new Star Fox game. I look forward to it. I really, really look forward when it comes down to it. I hope it happens. I really do hope it really does happen when it comes down to us getting that new Star Fox IP game. Um, it's gonna be very, and it's just smart, right? It's smart because it's movie marketing. The Mario movie's out. It just makes sense. But I'm not the owner of these video game companies when it comes down to it. Coming up next, that I wanted to talk about for the show, I've been doing this new thing. I've been doing this new thing of movie reviews, old movie reviews, and a lot of people have been liking these older movie reviews, and I'm really really excited about this one. So previously, the next movie, two movies actually that I've watched, you can combine these things into one. This is the retro movie review, and I've learned a lot of things about growing up. As you guys know, I'll be turning 30 next month. Can't wait for that. And there's been some changes, right? There's been some changes. I've made some grown people moves, and I get very, very excited. Now, these grown-ups, they're not grown-ups at all. Yes, of course, I'm talking about this movie. It's called Grown Ups, starring Adam Sandler, Chris Rock, David Spade, and Kevin James. And let me tell you, I will say hands down, because I watched both these movies 10 million times already. But I wanted to rewatch these movies because I wanted to do a small review for it on the podcast today. That Grown Ups number one is 10 times better than Grown Ups number two. Hands down. Grown Ups number one, you get to understand the characters. It's still a comedy, right? But in Grown Ups number one, the four friends, of course, Chris Rock, Adam Sandler, David Spade, Kevin James. There are four friends that they played childhood basketball, and of course, they 30 years later, they're all grown up, and then they all reunite together because their coach that coached them through this, their coach died. Right, Coach Buzzer died, so they're going back to Alan Adam Sandler's character. His name is Lenny, going back to their hometown to bury the coach and to go to the funeral and to reminisce on the old days. And it's a comedy, right? It's a huge, huge comedy when it comes down to it. You've got, Lenny, he's the Hollywood. He's representing people in Hollywood. He went to Hollywood and he, got this mansion. He got the beautiful wife and, got the kids. He got the house. He got the cars. He got the money. Meanwhile, Chris Rock's character, he's a biatch. Chris Rock's character, Kirk McKenzie, he's a biatch in this movie. Of course, his wife is Maya Rudolph's character, and they're married. She's pregnant, but then he's like the I don't want to say sissy because that's not a correct word here, but he's just the biatch, and he's like the girl, and he's like the wife in between those two. But he cooks, he cleans the house. He doesn't have a job. He's a stay-at-home dad. It's not to say that if you're stay-at-home dad that you are, a biatch. No, you're just, that's the stereotype. Meanwhile, Kevin James, he is trying to act like he, is very, very successful, beautiful wife, a kid, two kids. He owns the car dealership, but he got laid off. David Spade's character is just kind of like the chill, laid back, like getting laid, doesn't have a kid, just kind of relaxing, don't have really big of a job. He's just by himself. And Rob Schneider is also in this movie, and he plays like the earthy namaste yoga type guy that is just, he's like the outlier of the four friends. And they're going out there and they're really celebrating their time. They got the cabin and they're reminiscing the old days. But then Lenny's wife had to go to Milan for a photo shoot because they're big Hollywood. But then she says, "Nope, that's not important. Family's more important." And they're really understanding that Lenny's kids, Adam Sandler's play kids, in this movie, they are spoiled, right? They got a nanny. The nanny's there, but she's supposed to be a foreign exchange student because Lenny doesn't want the attention from his friends, right? The kids are spoiled, right? They got the big house, the video games, the house, the cars, the mansions, the glitz and glamour. They want to go to Milan for the swimsuit and to park it by a beach and eat gelato, but that didn't happen. They went to this cabin in the woods, and it really shows them how to be kids instead of being rich kids. And then at the end, towards the end of the movie, their other friends that play ball, kid ball, they're still reminiscing 30 years ago. Some of the other side characters in the movie, they're reminiscing to the friends that won that game. It's like, hey guys, this was 30 years ago, but hey, you cheated. So now they have a rematch, and then they're understanding about life and family and basketball and really being in tune to it. Very, very good movie, I might say. And then you got Grown Ups 2. Grown Ups 2 just kind of, it was, man, I mean, when I first saw it, there were some funny moments. Most of this movie was just kind of cheesy because as Grown Ups 2 came out later, Hope and Audience, you had a lot of celebrities like Shaquille O'Neal is in this movie. Stone Cold Steve Austin's in this movie. So of course you had a jam pack all-star cast that is in this movie. And it's like Grown Ups 2 is like, what kind of random bullshit, slap of the knee comedy to make people laugh can we do in one day? And that's what this movie is about. Because they wake up, they have a normal day, they go to the last day of school. And David Spade's character returns. He has a son in the second one. They go swimming, right? Kurt McKenzie's son has a driving test and all in that same day. They go to a pool party, right? They go to Kmart. Now they're going to a recital. What else happened, Hope? They're having a party that same day, right? It's just a lot of it's like a randomness in one day. And I'm sure it took them not too long to film this movie. And it just seems like every time Adam Sandler films a movie, he's going on vacation, right? It's always a destination of somewhere exotic that that he's filmed a movie, right? And it works, right? He makes millions from it, and it's genius. It just works. But Grown Ups 2 was just kind of like, okay, we're big Hollywood. Let's just slap things together. Let's add all of these all-star cast to make the movie pop. And you best believe that people went and saw this movie in theaters. I went and saw this movie in Grown Ups 2 in theaters years ago. So that's pretty much the synopsis of Grown Ups 2. It's just a lot of randomness. Oh, and Lenny and the wife, I forgot the actress's name. She's been in almost some good movies, every good movie. Um, they're pregnant, right? They have a kid. So now they have kid number 4 on the way. Lenny's having more kids. So it works. I want to see if they're going to do Grown Ups number 3. I think they should and they could. I just don't want to see. I feel like Grown Ups 3 is going to have more celebrity guests along with streamers. I wouldn't be surprised if Kai Cenat is in Grown Ups 3. I wouldn't be surprised. Or I Show Speed or it would like the top streamers. I wouldn't be surprised. I do want to see all the all-star casts um return. It might be tough because if you guys know, one of Adam Sandler's sons, Cameron Boyce, he died years ago. He was in the show called Jesse from Disney Channel, but he was one of Lenny's younger sons. He died unfortunately. So I don't know how that would go when it comes down to where that goes down to that if they're going to recast him or not. Um, I think that's probably could be why they don't. And I don't know. I'm not Happy Madison production. I don't know. It could be why they don't want to do Grown Ups 3 because they're missing the son, right? They're missing a lot of characters. They're missing like some of these characters might be too big for Grown Ups 3. They might be working on something bigger. So it all just depends on how they feel in that regard. But Grown Ups, good movie. It's available on Tubi. Tubi's been rocking some good movies, by the way. So check it out. It's available on Tubi. You guys will not be disappointed about that. Now, speaking of growing up, oh shit, Kennedy got some things to talk about. Um, Before I pass it on to myself and Hope with our front page news, this is an open ended question I want to ask everybody out there. Um, it's gym related. Shout out to the gym goers. I've been going to the gym, and I'll be honest with you. This gym session this week has been hard because I've been recovering from the sniffles, the allergies, and it's been a hard workout. Like, I'll just say, I ain't gonna lie to you, it's been hard. But I wanted to talk about this because, this kind of goes back to a couple of weeks back. I talked about gym bullies. And no, I was not bullied in the gym this time around. No. But it goes to show you that there are some people that are envy of you when you are losing weight and looking your best self. I can't stand it where people they try to make it nonchalant, but it's obvious. And they could have not been looking at me. They could have not been laughing at me. I've noticed there was these two goons that was at the gym, snickering, cheesing, kept looking back at me. And I'm looking around because I'm like, is there somebody to my nest next to me that they're laughing at? There's nobody in sight but me. And I'm doing a string machine, but I'm doing my curl ups, right? Because that's the new exercise that I started doing for my arms. And I kept looking, and then I looked over, and they kept looking back and snickering like two bitches, right? And I didn't understand it at first. But then in my mind, I said, "Oh, okay, okay." So they're laughing at me. Now, the old me would feel some type of way. If this was 6 years ago, I would feel some type of way, right? Because it's a little bit of insecurity, right? Back then, right? But now I'm so in tune with my body, my shape, my size, me losing the weight, and me being my most authentic self. I do say to a lot of people, don't snicker at people at the gym. Right now, I go to Crunch Nailville, and it's not their fault. But on their tagline is no judgments, no limits, right? I've seen all kinds of interesting people in the gym, all kinds of characters, all kind of types, all kinds of beliefs, all kinds of people in the gym. But I don't crack a smile and laugh at somebody that might be doing a workout wrong or a routine wrong, and it might look awkward. I let them be by themselves. I let them do their thing because they're doing the very best that they know how, right? I know to never judge people in the gym, and I know myself. Now they probably was laughing at me earlier that day because yeah, I dance my ass off. I think I talk about this a lot. I dance my ass off in the gym. I throw down in the gym, right? I'm listening to music. I'm done with work for the day. I've been very successful at work. This is my victory lap. This is the time where I'm thrashing, I'm dancing, I'm singing, I'm in my most jolly self. And I do that every time I hop in the gym. That could have been where these two bitches was laughing at. And you really think that it could be to where they envy that because maybe they don't feel the joy. I've said this before, my men that go to the gym, it's okay to sing and dance and be jolly in the gym. You don't have to act all hard because really I don't work out for the ladies. I think I've said that more than enough times. I don't go to the gym for the ladies. I'm in my own comfortable skin that I don't attract. I don't do things for the ladies. I don't want a girlfriend right now because I'm just too busy, right? I'm in my own mojo, my own space. So you best believe that when I'm in the gym, I don't do it for the ladies. I do it for myself. And I say that to my fellas, you don't have to act tough. You might be a big dude, but you don't you don't have to act hard for nobody. And maybe that's could have been why they're snickering because they don't know what joy feels like. Because they look pissed off. They besides them snickering, they look like they're stressed about something, right? They might be stressed that they have to go home with something that I don't know and I can't fathom. I can't compute and calculate. So I say to a lot of people, that's what grinds my gears. Like if you have something to say to me and you're snickering about me, you might as well come up to me and say it to my face. So that way I can retort and say, I don't give a damn who you snickering at because you don't matter. Right? So I just think a lot of dudes should stop that. I think we should lift each other up. And I hate to say it, but it was my brothers who were snickering at me. And it's like, okay, well, see, this is why we lose because we don't prop ourselves up. We don't give our black brothers props up when we're losing the weight, we're mentally focused. But we're laughing at each other. We're snickering at each other for no reason. And it could have been an age thing too, because honestly, I think they're about 25, 24. Again, I'm 29, about to be 30, so I'm more mature. I've had the maturity to not snicker and laugh at people. I don't know. It's crazy. Call it crazy if you want. There's just something that I peep. I think a lot of people should not do that. You should be within your comfortable in your own skin. You best believe when I go to the gym on Saturday, I'm gonna dance my ass off again and I'm gonna lift these weights again because that is my happy space. Now I'm gonna turn it over to myself and Hope for our front page news. So check this out, ladies and gentlemen.
Wake up, y'all!
It is now time for the front page news of the day on Coffee Talk presented by Spotify.
Yeah!
Okay, so here's something to think about. Jay-Z, one of the most iconic figures in hip hop, just said that the Kendrick Lamar and Drake feud might actually be holding the culture back. That's a big statement coming from someone who's been in the middle of some of rap's most legendary battles.
That really is a bold take, especially considering his history with Nas. I mean, their feud practically defined an era of hip hop. But now he's saying that Kendrick and Drake's rivalry has gone too far. That's a shift.
It is, and it's fascinating. He talked about how these kinds of feuds create this division among fans where people who love Kendrick automatically hate Drake no matter what he does. It's not just about the music anymore. It's personal and it's toxic.
That's such an important point. Hip hop has always been competitive, but it feels like the stakes have changed. Back in the day, it was about lyrical sparring and proving who's the best. Now, it's like these rivalries bleed into every aspect of an artist's life, even their character and family.
Exactly. And Jay-Z even said that this kind of negativity sets hip hop back a few steps. He's questioning whether the tradition of battling even needs to be part of the culture anymore. That's a huge statement, especially coming from someone who built so much of his career on that competitive spirit.
It really is. But I also think it shows how much he's evolved. He's not just looking at this as an artist anymore. He's looking at it as someone who's invested in the future of the culture. He's thinking about the bigger picture.
Totally. And his suggestion for keeping the competitive spirit alive through collaborations instead of feuds, that's such a constructive way to approach it. Imagine if Kendrick and Drake had channeled all that energy into a joint project instead of a rivalry. That could have been, game changing.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of collaborations, I thought it was interesting how he addressed the backlash to Kendrick's Super Bowl halftime show. People were accusing him and Roc Nation of picking sides in the feud by giving Kendrick the gig. What did you think of his response?
I thought it was classic Jay-Z. He basically said, "What do I care about them two guys battling? What's that got to do with me?" And then he laughed off the conspiracy theories saying, "I'm Jay-Z." Respectfully, it's like he's so far above all of that drama. He made it clear that his decision was based on Kendrick having a monster year, not some petty feud.
Right. And I think his respect for Kendrick as an artist really came through, especially when he talked about the halftime show itself. He acknowledged how brave it was for Kendrick to perform songs from his new album in front of such a massive audience. That's not an easy thing to do, but it shows Kendrick's commitment to his art.
Absolutely. And Jay-Z tipping his hat to that bravery says a lot. It's like he's recognizing the next generation of artists who are pushing boundaries and staying true to themselves, even when it's risky.
Speaking of the next generation, let's talk about what he said about J. Cole. I thought it was so interesting how he addressed the narrative that Roc Nation didn't love Cole in the beginning. He really set the record straight on that.
Yeah, he made it clear that they believed in Cole, but they wanted him to find his own path. He even compared it to how he handled Memphis Bleak, saying that with Bleak, he was more hands-on and directive. But with Cole, he gave him the tools and let him figure it out. That's a different kind of mentorship.
It's such a testament to Jay-Z's understanding of individual artistry. He didn't try to mold Cole into something he wasn't. He let him take his time, find his voice, and build his career on his own terms. And look at where Cole is now. That approach clearly worked.
It really did. And it's not just Cole. Jay-Z's entire career has been about empowering others, whether it's through Roc Nation, Tidal, or his other ventures. He's always thinking about the bigger picture and how he can uplift the culture as a whole.
That's so true. I mean, and it ties into what he said about being a billionaire and the backlash he's faced because of it. He's unapologetic about his success, but he's also so grounded in his purpose. He's not just making money for the sake of it. He's using his platform to create opportunities for others.
I loved how he called out the tricknology of the struggling artist narrative. He's right. There's this romanticized idea that artists have to suffer to be authentic, but Jay-Z has shown that you can be successful, make money, and still stay true to your art.
Exactly. And his perspective on navigating the capitalist system is so pragmatic. He's not idealistic about it. He's a realist. He understands the world we live in, and he's figured out how to work within it while still making a difference.
It's inspiring, honestly. And it's not just about business for him. It's also about personal growth. When he talked about 444, you could really hear how much that album meant to him. It was like a release for him, a way to confront his own vulnerabilities and traumas.
That part really stuck with me. He said he can't even listen to 444 now because it's so raw and personal. It's like that album was a turning point for him, both as an artist and as a person. He's not hiding behind bravado anymore. He's being real about who he is.
And that honesty is what makes his music timeless. He's always been able to evolve and adapt, not just to the industry, but to his own life experiences. That's why he's still relevant after all these years.
Speaking of longevity, how about what he said about Reasonable Doubt turning 30? Can you believe it's been 3 decades since that album came out?
It's wild. And hearing him reflect on that time, you can tell how much it meant to him. He talked about how they sold 43,000 records when it first dropped, but on the streets, it was platinum. That's such a vivid image of where he started and how far he's come.
And it's a reminder of how much has changed in the music industry since then. Back then, they were doing everything on a street level with no control over distribution or marketing. Now, Jay-Z is one of the most powerful figures in the industry. It's a full circle moment.
It really is. And yet he's still looking ahead. Even when he talked about new music, you could hear that he's still searching for what's next, for what's going to fulfill him creatively. He's not resting on his laurels.
That's the mark of a true artist. He's always evolving, always pushing himself. And even when he's not sure what direction to take, he's honest about that uncertainty. It's so relatable.
It is. And I think that's why people connect with him on such a deep level. He's not just a rapper or a businessman. He's a storyteller, a mentor, and a visionary. He's always thinking about the bigger picture.
Absolutely. And this interview was such a great reminder of that. Whether he's talking about feuds, collaborations, his past, or his future, Jay-Z always brings a level of thoughtfulness and insight that's rare in any industry.
Couldn't agree more. He's one of a kind, and this interview just reinforced why he's such a legend.
For sure. So, what's your biggest takeaway from all of this?
I think it's the idea that growth and success don't have to come at the expense of authenticity. Jay-Z has shown that you can evolve, make mistakes, learn from them, and still stay true to who you are. That's a lesson we can all take to heart.
Well said. And for me, it's his focus on the bigger picture, on how his actions and decisions impact not just himself, but the culture as a whole. That's the kind of leadership we need more of.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Let's leave it there for today.
Sounds good. Until next time.
Wake up! Get up! We starting the day!
Let's get into it. Our top story of the day on Coffee Talk, presented by Spotify.
Turn it up! Let's go!
Welcome to Gaming Pulse, your weekly dive into the heart of the video game world. I'm Marcus Thompson, and today we're cutting through the noise to bring you the biggest story in gaming, Grand Theft Auto 6. The anticipation for this title is simply unprecedented. Some even call it the most anticipated game in history. Everyone, and I mean everyone, wants to know every single detail. We were hoping to bring you a double-header today, covering both GTA 6 and some intriguing news from Pokemon Champions, but unfortunately, we hit a technical snag with one of our sources. So, we're dedicating this entire episode to dissecting the latest bombshell from Vice City. The big news making waves across the gaming community is a report suggesting that GTA 6's online mode, while unannounced, will not be launching alongside the main game in November 2026. This isn't just a rumor, it's a pattern we've seen from Rockstar before, and it raises a lot of questions about their strategy and what players can expect from day one.
Now, for those of you scratching your heads, wondering why Rockstar would hold back an online component for such a massive release, let's look at their history. This isn't the first time they've opted for a staggered launch. Grand Theft Auto 5, a game that has sold over 210 million copies, famously launched on September 17, 2013. Its online counterpart, GTA Online, didn't hit servers until 2 weeks later, on October 1. That 2-week wait ultimately led to a phenomenon, with GTA Online becoming incredibly successful over the past decade. Then we saw a similar approach with Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Online launched 32 days after the main game, on November 27, 2018, initially as a beta product. Rockstar even warned players to expect teething problems back then. While Red Dead Online didn't reach the same dizzying heights as GTA Online, this historical precedent strongly suggests that Rockstar has a deliberate strategy here. It's about optimizing the single-player experience first, allowing the online world to solidify post-launch.
So, what does this mean for Grand Theft Auto 6 players? Well, the new report, citing a leaker known as the Ghost of Hope, suggests that GTA 6's online mode could debut within a month after the main game's release on November 19, 2026. If accurate, we could be looking at an online launch sometime between late November and mid-December. This staggered approach makes sense from several perspectives. Firstly, it allows Rockstar to focus entirely on delivering a polished, bug-free single-player campaign, arguably the core of any Grand Theft Auto experience. Secondly, it creates a second wave of hype and engagement, bringing players back just as the initial buzz might start to settle. For players, it means savoring the story and world of Vice City before diving into the chaos of online multiplayer. It's a strategy that worked wonders for GTA 5, transforming GTA Online into the gift that keeps on giving for Take-Two, Rockstar's parent company, thanks to its passionate fan base and consistent microtransaction revenue.
Are you tired of losing those clutch moments because your controller just can't keep up? Does your grip slip when the action heats up? If so, then you need to hear about the Apex Grip Pro Controller Enhancement Kit. This isn't just an accessory, it's a game changer. Imagine perfectly contoured, sweat-wicking grips that feel like an extension of your hands, giving you unparalleled control and comfort during those marathon gaming sessions. The Apex Grip Pro boasts ultra-responsive trigger dots for lightning-fast reactions and customizable thumbstick extenders for pinpoint accuracy. No more fumbling, no more missed shots. It solves the common frustration of discomfort and imprecise input, turning average players into legends. For a limited time, get 25% off your first Apex Grip Pro kit when you order today. Visit apexgrippro.com and use code GAMINGPULSE at checkout. That's apexgrippro.com, code GAMINGPULSE for 25% off. Elevate your game, dominate the competition. Apex Grip Pro. Grip the win.
Welcome back to Gaming Pulse. Before the break, we were discussing the implications of GTA 6's online mode not launching at day one. Now let's look further into the future of online play within the Grand Theft Auto universe. One of the most intriguing aspects is the potential for coexistence between the current GTA Online and whatever new online experience GTA 6 will offer. Take-Two boss Strauss Zelnick has previously stated the company's willingness to support legacy titles when a community wants to be engaged with them. Reading between the lines, this strongly suggests that GTA Online, with its dedicated fan base and significant revenue from recurrent consumer spending, will continue to be supported, even after GTA 6 drops. Furthermore, Rockstar's acquisition of CFX.RE, the makers of popular GTA Online mods 5M and RedM in 2023, hints at a major push into user-generated content, or UGC, for GTA 6's online mode. With giants like Fortnite and Roblox heavily invested in UGC, it's an interesting opportunity for Rockstar to expand their own creator tools, empowering players to shape their own online experiences in unprecedented ways.
So while the news of a delayed online mode for Grand Theft Auto 6 might initially sound disappointing, it aligns perfectly with Rockstar's established pattern and business strategy. It allows them to fine-tune the single-player narrative and then unleash a robust online experience, potentially brimming with user-generated content, a few weeks or a month later. With 2 trailers already out in December 2023 and May 2025, and a new GTA 6 website packed with screenshots and details published in May 2025, the hype machine is already in full swing. Players won't have to wait long for more official details. The major marketing push for GTA 6 is set to begin this summer, so expect to see a lot more of Vice City in the coming months. Grand Theft Auto 6 is poised to be a monumental release on November 19, 2026, for PS5 and Xbox Series XS. We'll be here on Gaming Pulse to break down every new detail as it emerges. That's all for this episode of Gaming Pulse. I'm Marcus Thompson, signing off. Stay tuned and happy
And that's going to wrap it up here on the podcast here today. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you guys enjoyed this podcast as much as it was for me to perform and do this podcast for you guys. Everybody, please stay safe out there. Allergy season is here. You probably heard it as I was snickering or sniffling earlier. I still do have the allergies. It's pollen season. That's something I got to go and fight through it. But I do say to a lot of people, please stay safe. Stay have your remedies, your hot tea, your I don't want to say hot cocoa, but your hot tea, chicken noodle soup, orange juice. Have your immune system boosted because pollen season has a high count this time around, and it's a lot of people are sniffling and coughing, and germs are spreading because of that. So I do say to a lot of people, stay safe, stay swanky, peace, love, and respect for all of us here in the studio for Coffee Talk presented by Spotify. We hope that everyone has a spectacular grand weekend. We'll be back on Monday for What Happened Was podcast with me and Evelyn Letitia, my girl E's, coming back to our new, it's kind of the same set, but just a new location, new studio for that podcast. So again, stay tuned on Monday for that brand spanking new podcast episode with me and E. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Coffee Talk, powered and presented by Spotify. Peace, love, and respect. Love you guys. Stay swanky. Peace.
We bring in good energy.
This has been Coffee Talk, presented by Spotify. From our cast, we thank you for listening.
Yeah.